What's up, people? It's your girl, King Chic. This is the King and I radio show. We are live on Party 101.9. And today I have a special guest in the building. Monumental, legendary, superstar artist, hailing all the way from Jamaica, I-OCTANE.
Yes. Listen, love.
Yes.
Everything is okay?
Everything is fine now.
God is good.
God is the greatest. So, you're in New York City.
Yeah.
Right, and of course, this, you always come through, you pass through, and you do your stuff, and it looks like you're on a musical tour right now.
Well, basically, I just released a new album, God and I. So we all know that when it comes to new product, we have to promote the new product. So I'm on a promotional, as we say, promotional
tour
energy. Not really a tour, but the tour is not officially started, but just like promotional in the media, like a media tour.
That's what I meant.
Okay.
Not the actual performances.
You have to be more specific, because when it's a promotional tour, people's like, where's the shows?
Where's the show at, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I forgot who I'm dealing with. They get excited and they get ready for the
get the ladies them in and them fight like I just where I get
in the hot Ras vibes.
Yes.
Oh man. So you just had your what is that? The album release party, / birthday party. So you coming down off of that high. How was that event?
That event was beautiful. Give thanks to the people. The support was great. You know what I mean? That was a great energy. To really perform the songs them on a live band. And always, like it's more reggae oriented. So I think reggae should perform on a band. Even when you do tracks with dancehall. Even though I think that dancehall shows should be band shows also, but you can get away with dancehall. But I think reggae songs should perform on a band.
It was like a live band.
Live band,
So is that something you did before, or this is like the first time you did the live band situation, and now you kind of thinking, okay, this is maybe a way to go?
No, I always perform on live band.
Okay.
I think I'm more.
So you might be the live band pioneer for the reggae scene?
Not necessarily. A lot of people perform on live band, but that's my specialty. I love to perform with a live band. I also do greater with tracks, but I think live band is my thing.
When you say tracks, can you explain what that means? Like just playing? You mean playing the
Like you have the DJs playing the music.
Okay, and then you have voice over the over the audio.
Yes. So that's like a track show.
Okay. I think for you to be able to do like the whole live band situation, the vocals, everything got to be like, what I'm saying? So for you to prefer that, you got to know you come in with everything.
And I don't do rap stuff, A lot of Jamaicans start to imitate the rap music, like the rap rap artists play the music and sing over the music.
Okay.
I don't do those things.
Okay.
I don't play the music and sing over the music. Like you literally hear the record I play, and it's like
people come to hear the actual.
Yes. So
you give them
when I'm playing the rhythm, there's no voice. It's just whatever you hear.
That's all you.
It's all you right there.
Okay. Because when you said the hip hop reference, I was wondering where we was going with that, and because.
Yeah, because it's a hip hop style. Artists just play the song and just improvise in between the song.
Okay. So right now, this current project, I believe, is charting in like a hip hop kind of genre.
Yes, so this current God and I album, it's not on the reggae chart. It's not on the reggae billboard. On the reggae chart, iTunes chart. It's on the hip hop pop chart. So it's currently number 9 in the hip hop pop chart. I don't know how. Why?
Well, I feel like that look at the title of the yes.
What I mean? I don't know how, why, and it's so ironic where you see a reggae album. There's nothing on it, nothing with hip hop, but it's there.
and
there.
and I feel like that's a big deal, right? Because it's kind of harder for the reggae genre, in a sense. So to for I mean, it's being noticed and it's been noticed worldwide or whatever the case is. But like as far as within like the U.S. and the charts wise, that everybody is kind of watching to say, okay, this is the standard that generally don't really happen. So with it there, I feel like other eyes is gonna be on that because it's mixed in with Eminem and
that's a great accomplishment.
yes, definitely.
At first I was like, yo, who did this? I, call my team.
Mm-hmm.
And I rated cussing like, yo.
You got me in the wrong category.
Like yo, who I need to fire?
But God know what he's doing.
Yeah, but they was like they was like, yo, I don't know. And they come back and say, but look, let's put a positive spin on it because when you check the chart, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have all the top hip hop artists on the chart: Kendrick, Drake, Bia, everybody, and I'm number 9 in the hip hop rap. And with a reggae album, I've never seen it before.
Listen,
I don't know if they ever happened before.
Right, it sounds like you're making history. We gotta look that one up, but
yeah,
until
I
then,
look it up, but
until then, we give.
And I'm not saying never done before, but I hear that it's been done before, but it was released that way.
Okay.
But I never see a reggae project like a reggae album released as a rap album
and it's still doing numbers.
And it's in the top 10 like that. So
Yes.
I've never seen before. So I think this, I don't know if it's the first, but
so
it's a great accomplishment.
Is hip hop some way that you would venture though, like as far as collaborations?
Well, genre is only given by us because we want to create an algorithm and regulate the world. But when you really check it, what is a genre?
Right.
People just doing music. People just doing music from their culture, how they mean thought, you know what I mean? So if I grow in America, I speak different from how I grew in Jamaica, and I speak different from if I grew in the Caribbean, if I speak different from if I'm the UK or Europe or Africa. So we speak different, we converse different.
Definitely.
We pronounce word different, we have different words, how we pronounce vowels or sentence, so we have different sounds to identify our culture.
Right.
But people create a business around the culture. So they create a genre where just to regulate.
Yes.
So but I am a musician. I don't put myself in any genre. I can do any type of music and I'm capable of doing it.
Okay.
I'm ready to do it.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's what we like to hear. So I don't know, like, do you have since you're capable of anything, and I feel like your music is definitely versatile because your message ranges. I mean, for the most part, it's definitely conscious. We definitely getting a lot of godly things in there, and then we also have party anthems. We love the vibes because that's me. I love the vibes.
Yeah.
And, so you definitely have a range there. But like, let's say you were to venture in that area. Do you have people that you feel like, what, this is somebody I would want to work with, and I can see a project like bringing the best of both worlds. Then, even though we didn't assign the labels, they're there, and now we kind of merging the two sounds. And who do you think will kind of fit Octane style?
Well, for me, for me, I always put God in my movements, whatever I'm doing, and I know that I can create a song with the biggest rap artist or the biggest R&B artist or the biggest Hispanic artist or whatever,
Right.
and that song don't become an hit song, and I can create a song with an unknown artist, and that song becomes a hit song. You know what I mean? So for me, it's just every artist and any artist. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I don't really have yes, but any artist and the opportunity is there, and they're doing music, and we're on the same frequency. Just do it.
Your first single was released in 2000, right?
My first single.
Yeah, one of your
Yeah,
first.
in the 2000s.
Right.
Like I think, I don't remember.
They-
Years. Years ago.
Right, and so now
Because I entered into the business very young.
yes.
You know, so my first, I think not necessarily my first single, but my first hit song, I was just leaving school, 15, 16.
So I mean, well, according to the media,
Mhm.
that's how they have it logged. The first song 2000, and now we're in 2025.
Just 25 years ago.
Right. So we 25 years in, and I'm sure maybe music has always been something in you, or at that time is when you decided, okay, this is where I'm going to take it.
Alright, listen. Music becomes the soundtrack of my existence because of where I'm coming from.
Okay.
You know, I'm coming from a rough background where, you know, we're exposed to a lot of things that is not, that a human being should never exposed to at a tender age. So poverty was one of that. You know, the things that attach to poverty. But a lot of things that attach to poverty, you know, we have to go through that. You know, so and we don't have any other option than to survive through that. So I see a lot of my friends become the product of the environment, and you know I choose not to because I find music. You know, I use music to alleviate myself from those, you know, pressures, the pressure growing up. You know, so even before I know that I'm gonna pursue a career in music, I always like to just use music to alleviate myself from all the stress.
Right.
And then I started to do music and started to think about music and started to write my songs them and started to compare my songs them with with other people who is established. I know that you know me have the gift for this because who is on the radio I'm doing better than who is on the radio in terms of literature, in terms of how I compose my songs them. You know, me I use better words. It's like, you know, my vocab more advanced, you know. So I started doing a comparison and then I started to take music serious and started to go to studio and, you know, start to, you know, try experience it. Try that experience and till I find, you know, the opportunity comes through and I just seize it and I just everything was happening from there.
Okay. So prior to music, what was your goal? What did you want to be in life before you decided music
Prior
was
to
the way?
music? Prior to music, my goal, not necessarily my goal, my mom goal was, you know, to become an architect or a scientist or something. So I was very brilliant in school doing that.
Okay.
Pleasing my mom because she's a single parent.
I know exactly.
Yeah. So she want to see her future through me. Or, you know, my parents always do that.
Definitely.
I was
Especially Caribbean
I
parents.
was a soccer player and I didn't make it, so I want my son to become a soccer player too. You know, so Caribbean parents always do that. And maybe your kids don't.
They want nurse, doctor,
Yes.
lawyer. Certain professions is
Certain profession which is traditional
acceptable,
professions.
right?
You know what I mean? Those are traditional professions. So like all music, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do music. I was like, yo, you know why I do an untraditional profession. So you know, so before music, I never really have nothing for myself before music. I was just leaving high school, just graduated or something like that.
Okay.
Before music, I don't know.
So
Maybe I would end up in jail.
So music has basically been your entire world because it's been there for the longest while, and so now you 25, at least around 20 something years in the business. What's the difference, I guess, in now from when you were starting out? What do you see is changing
From now until now?
from then until now? And which period do you think is like the best for the current artist? Was there a time before where it's like, okay, this was like the best time for music, or do you feel like now everything is on a fast pace?
Put it this way. Evolution is everything. Growth is everything, right? if you have a human being who don't believe in growth or don't invest in growth, then you're stagnant. There's nothing named perfect or perfection, because today you buy this phone and it's the best phone, and then next week you have a better version of it. You buy a vehicle and it's 2025, and 2 years from now it's an old vehicle, because the 2027 is more advanced.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So evolution is everything. So yes, it's the best time for music, best
Right
time
now.
for life, best time for everything,
Everything right.
until more time add to it, because evolution always grows.
And-
Evolution is growth, so it's the best time.
And
It's the
talking
best
about-
time for everything, because I can just stay on my phone and become a superstar.
Yes, definitely.
20 years ago you couldn't do that. 25 years ago,
You
30 years.
you had to kind of work,
Yes.
work the party scene, and
You have to work, and you have to do it in person.
mm-hmm.
You know, you have to do it in person. So I can just stay on my phone and just turn on my phone and just create a content, and then tomorrow morning I'm even bigger and richer than some people who've been tiling for 35 years.
Yes, I see what you're saying. That's definitely true.
And,
There's
and the more
access.
Yes, you have more access, and the more time we have, and the more abreast we get about equipment and the technology, is the easier it is to become a superstar, to reach your goals.
Okay. So I do think that right now it's in like one of the best spaces, dancehall, because like there was a time where everybody is saying, okay, it's up and coming, it's emerging, and then we had even Afrobeats was like up and coming, emerging, and then they kind of say, okay, well, Afrobeats is on an even higher plane now. But I feel like right now the temperature of everything is like, there's more money to be gotten, there's more exposure to, as far as like mainstream media and reggae dancehall artists, I'm seeing them everywhere. And so I think right now is kind of the best time. And I agree with you as far as the evolution. When we advance in times, things get easier, things get better. And you teaching me right now, because we having like teaching moments. Every time I ask you a question, I learn something. Like these answers are so deep, right?
Because with dancehall is a subgenre from reggae music. Dancehall emerged from reggae music, right? So it's like reggae is the mother of dancehall, and the reggae music is the biggest music in the world. A lot of different music derived from reggae music. So it's the biggest music in the world. But the problem we have is that where reggae music created from, there's any infrastructure for it. So reggae music created from Jamaica, but there's no infrastructure for it. The country, the government, nobody put that infrastructure for it. There's every single other genre in the world. You have funding for it, you have infrastructure for it. Artists have to go through the right channel. You know what I mean? Everything. It have that organization that represent the music itself. Even in different genre, artists just turn on their phone and become the #1 artist on their phone. They still have to go through the algorithm, like the radio promotion, this, that. But in Jamaica, we're so talented where a man just driving taxi and just sing a song and make that transition, and then he have the biggest song, so he have to make that transition from a taxi driver to an artist, and there's no infrastructure for it. So but there's a lot of trial and error. So out in the world now, it's just music where people just do a vibe and pull a vibe, but there's no infrastructure, so you don't structure. So a lot of artists just didn't know how to conduct themselves properly, didn't know to do a proper interview, didn't punctual on time. You know what I mean? You tell them about 15 times, you tell them 15 which is 3 o'clock or 2 or 1 o'clock. You tell them 2 person, them care 30 person. It's like there's no infrastructure, so a lot of things wasn't thought. Like yes. So you know what I mean? So that was what beat in the music, but other genres are organized.
Okay.
And nothing beat a structure.
Definitely.
Nothing beat a structure. So we look into ourselves and say, yo, man, let's unite. Let's come together. Let's do that. Let's do that. But a lot of people been saying it, but a lot of people don't think with their brain. You have to see it. Don't care to tell a lot of people things. You have to actually show them for them to actually comprehend it. So that is us. You have to show us.
So unity right now would be like the biggest thing for dancehall, basically.
Not necessarily the biggest thing, because competition still bring forth some of the biggest artists, Bunty and Beanie, Ninja Man and Shabara, Yellow Man, Vibes Cartel, Movado.
So the clash culture is necessary.
It birthed a lot of great superstars, but just keep it musical. So we don't want to necessarily have in the same present. We don't necessarily have to agree. We can disagree if we agree. But what we need is the movement, the structure. Once you have the structure, there's an algorithm for it.
Okay.
Understand? So we need that algorithm. So once we say, all right, then this is it, we just press it and the algorithm just keep it going. Yes.
Well, we'll be definitely hoping for the structure to everything to, because I feel like now is the time. I don't know why, but I just feel like now is the time for everything to just skyrocket and do whatever it is that it needs to do. And I feel like everybody just has to be ready and kind of, just be ready to jump in and be on board, because it's gonna, something is bubbling. We might,
it's always there. It's just that, as we mentioned, it's always there. It's always there. This is what you see happening in the dancehall. It could be, could have happened a long time. It's always there. But as we say, some people too near the forest, they can't see the trees. So you need to be taught, you have a seat.
Right.
You take budget 10 years. Alright, you take a man if you go to prison for 10 years. And then come from prison and do a stadium show. And that man say, oh shit, what you can't say that, sorry. But a man say, oh, what you do? Why am I not doing that? Okay, let me try. We could been doing that.
Okay.
You understand? So that's why they say Afrobeat was leading and all these things, because Afro artists, even though Africa is much bigger, but the Afro artists decide, say, oh, I don't want to perform in an arenas, I want to perform in stadium. So they might do it and it don't work, and they do it and it don't work, but consistency change perspective.
Consistency is key.
Consistency change perspective. So even if you don't like something about me, if I continue doing it, one day you might say, that thing grew on me. Look how much things grow on you. Look how much things you never like today, but next week you like.
That's a fact.
You know, so that thing grew up on me. Yeah. Consistency. You understand? So yeah.
Okay. So that's true. See, you definitely got me thinking this whole time. And you know what also had me thinking? The album. Because I definitely listen to every track, and it's a straight through play. Like you can go from track to track to track to track. I
think it's my best album so far.
To date.
Yeah, so far. Because a lot of people can relate to it, Like people who call me and say number 1 is their favorite track, and then the next person called me and said number 15, and the next person called me and said, because everybody have something on it, and then the next, but I never have a person call me and have one single track. It's always over 5. Like these are my 5 favorite.
Listen, like I was trying to narrow it down too, but go ahead.
Yeah, yesterday somebody called me and said, yo, these are my 5 favorite, and then today, I think there was like, yo, my list changed. I think I like this and I like this. So yeah,
So yeah, I don't even know which one is my.
You can have a favorite.
I definitely like. I like Walk with a Chip.
Oh, he's a gangster.
I like that one.
Yes, you need to walk with a chip sometimes. Yeah.
So who produced that track?
Producer for that, Walk with a Chip. Me and Conquer the Globe and Good Production. Okay.
Yeah, so you do a lot of your own production as well.
Yes, since of lately.
Okay. And I saw.
I've been doing like majority of my last project, me produce it or co-produce it with.
Okay.
You know, but I've producers who I work with over the years.
Okay.
These producers been loyal to me over the years, whether me they offer art song or not. But a lot of producers in Jamaica, a lot of people who in music, they're, if you're not on a wave, them now mess with you.
Oh wow.
No matter how big your legacy is.
That's crazy. That's definitely crazy.
Yeah, so what happened with me now is I use always self-reliance, you know what I mean? And then I've been through a lot of things with producers and the people in the music and people who, so like how 9X would say, yo, this is my, Octane, listen to this producer. And I said, what your producer? And he said, no, I'm a young producer, I don't produce nothing yet. You know, a lot of producers I work with like that, so I would work with him, sing a couple songs, and he become the biggest producer now.
Okay.
And then when him start to become the biggest producer, me need back his strength. Get my strength with his strength and give somebody else instead of giving.
Well, that's crazy.
So what that teach me that I am a common denominator.
That's madness.
So we just get rid of being dependent or attach myself to a person where can switch their minds and start produce. You can look on the glass half full or half empty. Right? So if I help you,
yes,
and you took that help and become the person that you was seeking to become, maybe that was just my purpose, to help you and don't gain back nothing from you. But what I help you with, no, you can't depend on human being. That is a problem that we're having. What I help you with, I actually can do it too. So that is the mistake that artists make. They might make a whole heap of money, but instead of buy one rhythm or build one rhythm and produce a song for themselves, they go in the Gucci store and buy Gucci. Okay. So them spending money on things where
that's not invested in themselves.
Yes, I buy a lot of Gucci, I buy with patchouli, yes, fine, but I use my money produce my songs then.
Yes.
So when we produce my song, like this album, when you produce your songs then, there's no way a person can tell you. Because remember, I can produce 12 songs now. I can put it to iTunes myself. I can get it on Apple Music myself. I can get it to a distribution company myself. I can do all of these things. I can call a director myself. I can shoot a video myself. I have my own YouTube page. I can load it up myself. Everything where a producer can do, I can do it myself. So why not invest in it?
Definitely. You got to invest in yourself. You have to believe
invest in yourself and then work with producers too. But if producer decides that they now work with you, you're sitting in your woman ball?
No, definitely not.
Yeah, so you have to just find
gotta make a way.
Yes, you have to find a way to do it for yourself too. You know what I mean?
I agree with that. Definitely have to make a way. But sometimes, and another thing, statement that you made about being that person's blessing. Yes, in some events, yes, you can be those people blessings. But I also feel like some people should be indebted to you and they're supposed to know. Like, listen.
Not human beings.
You know, like this person.
Your phone can't be indebted to you.
This person did something for me that was great at a time when I needed them. And so now I'm going to, you know.
A lot of people don't stay like that.
Listen.
Remember, you know, even your own kids, them are gonna leave you sometime, you know, and those entities is your DNA. You have 50% of chromosomes in each one of your kids. And if them can walk off with the chromosomes, who other human beings we don't connected to? If I have 50% of my chromosomes in you, and you can step out and say, Mom, I'm too tired for this, I have my own life, I'm going to put you in home. I don't have the time for this.
Right.
And put you in our home or leave you by yourself. And they have 50% of your chromosomes. Who's other human beings when
right. So basically you got to expect anything.
So that's the mentality.
So you're doing everything.
That's the mentality you should have. So when you have that mentality, then the expectation of people will always be low. And when it's always below, it's better for the environment. Because then I give you space to grow. Because if I have a high expectation of you, that means they already come with an algorithm that I want you to follow. And once you go off grid, because me come with a illusion blueprint for you. And once me see you go off grid, the illusion blueprint that I have for you, I feel like I start violating it instead of learn you.
Right.
You have a new phone, you have to learn the features in the phone.
That's
So why
definitely
we can't
true.
learn a human being features? Because every human being have different characteristics. Why am I supposed to have alright, I like red and create a red room for you and expect you to live
You're gonna like the red room too.
And when we visit back the room, you paint half white in yellow, which is your favorite color. And I was like, oh, you put my red room in that? Oh, you put my red room in it. It's my, that is what I want for me. So if I want to put you in my life or my future, then I have to coincide and I have to sacrifice. Some people don't want to make that sacrifice. So,
Okay.
a human being, you know, yeah, you don't really look upon it that way.
So the main single that you're pushing, because it kind of ties into this this topic here, the first single, Opportunist, and it's like, you know, the ones that kind of are there for whatever purpose to use, and then not saying that you must reciprocate, but you know, just not bringing the right energy to the situation. So I mean, it sounds like you're saying they gotta lose you, right?
Yeah, because a lot of us have pressures and pain and stress and all of these things, right? And it derives from relationships, not everything. Every time you come across the next human being, there's some form of relationship. And it don't necessarily mean that you and that human being have to share one word. So once you're coexisting, you know, you and that person share in the space of the universe.
Okay.
So you and that person have sharing space relationship.
Okay.
You don't necessarily mean verbally. You understand? Like the food chain, human beings, you have lower habitats in the food chain, which is animals, this, you know, lower. You and them still have a relationship. So like plants, you and them still have a relationship and you don't know. So like a tree now, when you inhale, yes, so you know, photosynthesis, all of these things. So when you let out carbon dioxide, they plants
giving us the oxygen.
Good. So you and the plant have a relationship. Enough human beings don't know that.
Definitely.
You and the plant have a relationship. So everybody, everything, every living thing we have life, you and it have a relationship. You understand? So everything boils down back to relationship. And then it boils down back to priority. And your priority list. So if what I'm saying in that song, if I prioritize you, if I'm not getting back that same reaction, it don't necessarily mean that we can't deal with me. I can drop you off of my priority list. You have to come off of my priority list. Because every individual have 24 hours.
And so
each day you wake, you have 24 hours. So if you have 24 hours and me have 24 hours, why should I give you an hour to my 24 hours? I can't get a minute from your 24 hours. How would that work? Right.
Definitely.
Yeah,
So basically, we have relationships that we can't even control, as far as with nature, with animals, and there's a succession. So we go on reptiles, mammals, and we all the way up here with humans. And now these interactions don't necessarily need to occur if we're not feeding each other.
Yeah, because even the tree that they get oxygen from. When last you water a tree, like when last you take a water, like go and pour water in the root.
Exactly, we're not giving.
And that is your life source. Because if all trees die in the world, only carbon dioxide exists, so you can't survive with it.
At all.
When last you do that, do you understand what I'm saying? So why would you even allow
to make me water a tree now?
Yeah, you should. But why would you even let the next human being utilize your time, utilize your energy, and then step out with all that.
Mm-hmm.
When you refill them
Yes.
and they're fully charged,
Okay.
and then you step out with all of that energy that you embedded in them, and then leave your battery drain, and then you can have a charger to recharge.
Okay.
Who's gonna be stressed? You or them?
It's gonna be as good. All stress is gonna be on you.
Good.
This is a message for me. But yeah, so
Yeah.
we're gonna let the people hear this first single, right?
Mhm.
And you can introduce it to them and the name of the song.
Okay, so the first thing is Opportunist, I-OCTANE featuring Shano. Check it out.
Right. What's up, people? It's your girl checking back in, and I'm still here with my special guest, I-OCTANE, and we just heard his first single off the new album, Opportunist, featuring Shano. That's a very powerful song.
Great.
Great song from a great album. Is this your 7th or your 8th project?
I don't know. I think it's my 10th album. I don't know.
You're not counting. We just putting out the music.
I have thousands of songs, out, singles and albums, and
Okay.
just album is to create the album is the least for me. I can take one day and create the album.
You have that much
Yeah, cause when I'm not in the mood, I write 5 songs a day. If I'm in the mood, I can give you 10.
Wow. So this is the work ethic.
Yeah, I can give you 10 in less than 10 hours. You know? Yeah.
And hits too. Hits after hits after hits, because like I said, I listen to it straight through. There's so many that I like. I'm just like, oh, I like this one. I like that one. You don't have that many features on it. It's just Shano and version, right?
Yeah, Shano version.
Yeah, and so it's like, and you holding your own by yourself.
Alright, you see, human beings,
Mm-hmm.
we're so far from reality where we think that we need a next human being to be great.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what affecting a lot of people, because by yourself, you're great by yourself. There's no other human beings. No other human being is like you. You know, you're special, you're rare. You're the only copy.
Mm-hmm.
Your blueprint is the only copy. It cannot be duplicate. There's no replica. You. So you is the only version of you.
Definitely.
Even when your kids that's why your kids only get 50% of your growth. But you're the only version of you. Every single person in the room is the only version of them. So when you think life that way, you know, then you find out how special you are. So you don't necessarily need me to be great.
Right.
But enough people think that because they were thought that way, and this algorithm of the world teach kids to become second and think that they're second, and you know, ruin a lot of kids' life, like public school and all of these things. Ruin a lot of kids' life because you don't tap into your true
So
flourishing, because a lot of kids that is going and in a lot of classes and doing a lot of things, that is not their true calling. They have practical kids. Like we have things that are theory, have practical kids. You know what I mean? So you have all different type of characters, but you have to find your true calling. So that's what I'm saying. You're special by yourself. You don't really need an next person to know that you're special. You need an next person, yes, because you have an idea and you coincide the next person's energy to make that idea becomes to life. But you yourself as an entity, special by yourself.
that's a fact.
And once you know that, then it's always gonna be in a delivery.
I see what you're saying as far as the whole school thing too, because it's a lot of indoctrination and a lot of, you know, things where you think this is where you want to go because this is what the adults are telling you, this is what the system, society, everything is, you know, placing on you, and it takes like
Everything.
a special.
If you have 5 kids at your home school, none will feel in fear of none.
Okay.
Because they all get along same time, they play, they do everything. But when you send them to like school itself, that is on the algorithm of of the system,
Mm-hmm.
right? You have different classes, different teachers, and each class represent how brilliant you are.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the first thing that embedded in the kids then. So if I am in, say for instance, you have grade one,
Mm-hmm.
you have 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D. Once they place you in 1D, 1C, 1B, and 1A classify 1D as the lower habitat in the food chain.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is the dunces class, the literate class, of all of us.
Mm-hmm.
So even though C is being looked down at, C have someone that they can look
It's
down
still
at,
looked
and
at.
B look down at C, but B A can. So you feel that way, that those things embedded in you.
Mm-hmm.
So you feel like, oh, I'm not supposed to be here. Then you have kids, then you have poverty where, you have a lot of things that affect the kids then. I am going to school, I'm brilliant, but I don't have the cool things that you have who don't have the capability mentally like me.
Mm-hmm.
So, we sit in the back of the class.
That's not the best spot either.
Not because I don't know what the teacher is saying.
Mm-hmm.
It's because I don't want my identity in terms of how my presentation look to be identified.
So you want to hide out.
Yes,
Maybe I don't have the latest sneakers.
Yes.
I'm gonna just hop
And the
back
sneakers
here.
have a hole in it, so I don't want to stand
Everybody
up.
to see
Yes,
me.
because you're gonna judge me for my sneakers.
Okay.
Instead of judge me for my brilliance.
And what you have up there.
Yeah, so that is what do to a lot of people.
So really quickly, I see that you have some brilliant children of your own.
Mm.
So are they being homeschooled or are they?
So yeah, a few of them being homeschooled and some were public school.
Okay,
and it depends on where. I'm a man all over the world, so most of my kids don't live with live with their mom.
Okay.
So whatever decision
That the mother make.
Not necessarily mother alone, but what is
Okay, so y'all come to something together.
Yeah.
Okay, what's best for the child and what's okay.
No, sometimes we make some decision on the best for child at all in terms of because the child needs something different.
Mm-hmm.
But as parents, we try to just shape and guide at our best ability.
Yes. So I saw your 5-year-old produced on this album, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and is that something that she expressed to you that this is like?
Yeah, man.
Anything
that they say I do with any one of my kids, is what they want.
Okay.
So she's a little girl who want to produce, want to sing, into these things.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you just, I don't know, what's the right word? Maybe like honing in on her talent and kind of nurturing it. So, in her future years, then this is where she want to take it.
When I get the rhythm, like I get a few rhythms, and then she might listen to them. Like we're listening it together or something. She was like, "Yo, I like that one."
Check how.
And so you want to produce this one? I want to produce this one. I like this one. And then she like me, like it too. So it's like that.
So at 5 years old, she got good ears.
Yeah, she can sing, she can do everything.
And I know I felt like you had another daughter because I remember seeing.
Yeah, so my next daughter will do music too. She's on stage performing. That is Octavia. Yes.
See, I was trying to remember her name too, because I remember when I saw her first.
My first daughter, Dijon, she in arts. She like dance, culture. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
So they all music is somewhere following them. They got the 50% of this.
Yeah.
50% of the chromosome. They marching into the studio.
And whatever they want to do, because this world is a rough world.
Yeah,
and it's all gonna be a simple world.
That's true. I think it's based on how you look at it. Recently, they have some I can't even remember the title of the book, but it's just like, don't take anything personal. Just understand that everybody is placed here for whatever their purpose is. Just like how you said, your purpose might be to elevate that person. Somebody else's purpose might be to hinder or block. However, you learn a lesson in the event same way. Like, okay, this person came here, they did whatever they had to do. I'm not going to take this to heart or whatever the case is, because at the end of the day, there's no testimony without a test. So somebody has to play that role in order for you to now know what you need to know, and you know, carry on the journey that you're carrying on, and know, okay, knock this block down, and this is now the level we're at, and we're heading here now, and you know, so
because here the problem is now. A lot of human beings is using the wrong set of organs or whatever body parts to do the wrong job. Because a lot of people, your heart and emotion don't have a brain. And 90% of the decision that is made currently stems from emotion.
okay,
And stem from your heart. You're supposed to use your brain to make a decision.
Definitely.
Not your emotion or your heart. And your heart to make a decision. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, you're supposed to use that. So people are using the wrong things them to do, you know?
and I think that you got me sitting here just
Yeah.
because I'm thinking of the times where maybe I've had to make a decision and I didn't. Even though my brain might have known something,
The emotion
you know, it's just
override it.
like, you know what, let me just go with
Yes.
how I feel about
Oh,
this and
no.
see what's what. And but it never wins.
No, it's never because you feel it. You're supposed to know. Because when you feel it's from the blind side, you don't really still know. So when you make a decision, you have to make it from your brain. Process it first.
Okay.
Process it. And then when you process it, now you find you weigh the pros and cons. Because each pros and each cons always have repercussions.
Definitely.
And then you have to know the repercussions. I say, if I am willing to go through whatever repercussions come with it. So if you're in the street doing street activities, right?
Yes.
And you plan, say, you know that you don't have the heart or the guts to do the time, but if you feel like, oh, I'm gonna do the street, but if I get caught up, I'm gonna take a deal, I'm gonna tell on somebody, don't go in the street.
Definitely not. Stay on the sidewalk, people.
Stay on the sidewalk because it have that repercussions. You might not get catch, but 90% of the time. You understand? Yes.
You're gonna be faced with something.
You're gonna face it, some repercussions. You have to know that. So a lot of people making decisions with their emotions
Definitely.
instead of their brain.
So y'all hear that? The right route to make the decision is use your brain over emotions. Brains over emotions.
So when you do that, now you don't take anything personal.
Don't say I didn't learn anything from Octane, because we learning today.
You don't take anything personal, but you will take personal because if your emotion wrap up with it, then you're gonna take things
You're gonna feel it on a deeper level.
Yes, because the emotion is too vulnerable.
But once you use your brain with it, then you could kind of separate the feeling and say,
Separate the
you
feeling.
know what, this is that, and this is what I'm going to do. Whether if it's something that I like, then I know, okay, I'm gonna follow it up, or if it's something that I dislike, then I know I'm gonna lose it.
Yes. You know?
Yeah. So which track did your baby girl produce on the album? Is it the
Opportunist.
follow up? Oh, check her out. Okay.
Opportunist.
Okay. That's no. She's sounding like a little genius. Listen, at 5 years old, such a big record because
Not a little genius, a genius.
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Nine, no, yeah.
Yes, big up your baby. But we did say that the upcoming single on the project is a song called Powerful Story. That's track 11 on the album, right? And I don't know, because sometimes not everybody, but you know, a little numerology gets in there where people is like in 11, when you see 11 or 1111, or you see just matching numbers is kind of like a good sign or whatever the case is. And maybe you didn't even have any thought process, or maybe you did, as far as how you were going to order the songs, like which song is going to be track one, which is going to be, or you just, you know, shuffle them all in. But it sounds like when I listen to your music, it sounds like the music is based on events from your life.
Mm-hmm.
So now,
a lot of them are just things that occurs around us daily.
so I'm just curious, as far as powerful story, like what was the inspiration behind that?
Powerful story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just something that I've been through, but I make it in general as possible.
Okay.
I make it in general as possible because I want people to use their personal life and recollect your personal life. Because a lot of people feel like when they're, you know, at the initial stage of their life is rough,
Mm-hmm.
that's a write-off for them.
Right.
You know, a lot of people feel like if they're, you know, growing up, they do a lot of crazy things, that is all mistake. But we all can convert every mistake into lessons. You understand? As we from the conversation start, we've been talking about evolution,
Mm-hmm.
and there's nothing in perfection.
Right.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you make 100,000 US, don't your bank account can also accommodate 110?
Of course.
And if you bring 120, it's not gonna tell you no.
It's not.
And if you bring 130, it's because well, that is still
You're welcome. Come on
and
now.
140, oh, you're doing good.
Mm-hmm.
150, I
Mm-hmm.
like your style, dog.
Mm-hmm.
So every time you increase, you get a different reaction.
Mm-hmm. You get perks.
Yes. So, you know what I mean? Yeah. So evolution, as we say, evolution is everything, and
Mm-hmm. Well, yes, evolution is everything. I agree with all of that. And I know you're celebrating your birthday, so I want to say happy birthday.
thank you. But it's not 29th is my official birthday. But you don't know truth. The 29th ain't gonna fall on a weekend, so I have to do it. So
Yes.
until the 29th is my birthday. After that, I'm a regular citizen again.
So you're not taking over. Well,
Eh?
did you take over the whole month? Did you say this whole month is mine, or did you start
Not necessarily.
just recently? Okay. You a big birthday person, or you just celebrate
You know,
because you have life?
alright, you know, growing up,
Mm-hmm.
I never really get the chance to celebrate birthdays because I was so poor.
Mm-hmm.
I grew a rough life. We never get the chance. We never have a birthday party. I only remember one birthday party. And growing up, I only have one picture that I took. You know? And the picture that I have, I was took at my school.
Mm-hmm.
And I went back there when I become an established artist and do a school tour.
Okay.
And do a
Give
charity
back.
thing for the school.
That's
and
beautiful.
I went in the principal office and says a picture of me. I said, oh, and I just took it. It's the only one. I have no baby pictures. I have no pictures back then. You know, I have none of those things.
And you said this is because of the growings and the surroundings, or did y'all lose stuff? Maybe your mom took some and you didn't ask her.
Took pictures?
Yeah.
I think about we've been through a lot of things. We removed
Okay.
a lot of relocation. So we lose a lot of things.
Okay. So I know I saw, even though I don't really know the demographics in Jamaica, but I know I saw you from Sandy Bay,
Sandy Bay, Clarendon.
So you live in that area for about how long? Till you big size, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I was there
Mm-hmm.
doing music and then I leave, come to Kingston.
Okay.
That is where I get a break.
Okay. So we're going to go back to the school thing, because I think that's a big deal. I love to hear when people give back. I mean, your message is already a good message for the kids. You know, that your stuff is stuff that they can listen to. We don't have to caution or put any little stamps on it like, oh no, the kids can't hear this, because they could definitely hear it. It's life lessons in there for them. Things to take heed to, you know, like you you'll say something and then they'll be able to interact with their friends and see, okay, this is the stuff he was talking about. I'm encountering it now, and so that's good. But the actual physical going back, say to school, and giving back to them, I think that's definitely a beautiful thing.
Yeah, because giving back is everything.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you really check it, everything gives back.
Mm-hmm.
Like we think about, we're talking about the trees and human beings, everything give back.
We're about to play the second single of the album, and so you could let me know what was the inspiration behind it, and
Yeah, man.
yeah,
Right there.
okay, and then you can introduce it to the people.
Yeah, man. Oh yeah, so the second single is Powerful Story. Yeah, Powerful Story just I write it based on where I'm coming from, but also generalize it where other people can, incorporate that message in it, especially the chorus.
Okay.
You know what I mean? In their life, you know what I mean? Because I think everybody's journey, everybody have a powerful story. Everybody have something powerful about them. So what my life, I was just telling them where I'm coming from to where I'm at today. So after, as a kid, I see what my mom goes through with, paying rent, don't have any rent, have to outside, struggle, moving, relocating from place to place to place. So yeah, but I still turn out to be something that is great. So that is what I'm telling. No matter what obstacles I've been through growing up until now, I always triumphant. I always reach to the next level.
And I think that's definitely what you can't be defeated. You can't lay down. You still got life, and you definitely have to try and do whatever to change your story and to make your story one that that you are proud of, one that you feel like I did what I was supposed to do, or I'm making my legacy, or I'm just doing things my way. This is the Octane way, and this is how I want to represent myself. And it's a never-ending story because you're still here, and you're still making music, and you're still giving us what we need.
Because there's nobody now. There's nobody now. If you strive for good enough. Yeah. There's nobody. Because in any situation, good can come from it. But you have to see.
Right.
You have to see good in it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I think it's power in the thoughts, and it's power in this story. So we're gonna get into the second single off the album, and it's called Powerful Story. Okay. We'll be back.
This is the King and I radio show on Party 1019 on iHeartRadio, powered by the Matrix Studios.
I want to know how long you've been a Rasta and what made you decide that this is, the wave for you, Hot Ras.
Well, being Rasta don't necessarily mean you have to do the hair still. Because the hair is all dead cells, see me. You know what I mean? You really have no life in it. Unless you put life in it. So all I have to do with it, live it. How you see things, how you perceive things.
Yes.
How connected you are to the Almighty and how willing you are to share knowledge. You know what I mean? Food content, just a culture for you. So you travel with that spiritual healing type of energy. Yeah. So it don't necessarily be here because I have a lot of people with long hair, long beard, long precept, and they're doing some horrible things.
Okay.
You understand?
So it's more
So
of
it's not about the image.
more of a mentality, more
More
of
of a mentality. Yeah?
like a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Okay.
the most effective person that ever traveled, utilize um, a human body, um, the higher power, the creator, the Almighty. For many, for a lot of others, it's Haile Selassie, King Selassie.
Okay.
But King Selassie had all blacks.
Right. I read somewhere he didn't even think he was the leader of this movement.
But it's just his teachings.
And that the people said a true God doesn't know that he's God, so it's okay if he's not aware.
Yes, I do have blacks. And I'm not for do the blacks.
Right.
You want not to do the clothes, render your heart and not your garment. You have not to do the clothes. There have a lot of people who have the image but don't have the energy.
Out of heart.
Them do the most horrible things them to people. They sabotage people, they will spells on people, witchcraft, bad mind people, stop people progress. They spend every minute, second time of their existence just to watch a next person suffer. Yeah. I have some youth that don't have locks, none at all. Some of the purest people that you could have find. Most genuine people. Most people who want to see us strive. And who do anything to help us strive.
I feel like you have one of the biggest weed songs, right? Puff It. What's the inspiration behind that?
Just what things that my inspiration drawn from things that occurs around us daily, you know. All of my friends them smoke.
Okay.
Even when them know the smoking I mash up my head.
Okay, so you don't smoke. Octane don't smoke.
I don't smoke and I don't drink.
Oh wow, good stuff. Don't smoke, don't drink. It is.
All of my friends them smoke, so I just inspire me.
Okay. And you could sing from every angle because
every angle. A lot of people, because remember saying the music is
I believed you like you.
Yeah, remember the music.
Like you was feeling it.
Yeah, and plays of instrument. I remember music is ART, right? And you express yourself through that. It's metaphors, similes, you know, adjectives, nouns, pronouns, you know, conjunction. It's just literature and how you express yourself. Because a lot of youth that sing about poverty, they never suffered before.
Pretend separation.
A lot of youth that is singing about it's just that you being creative.
Okay.
Just like the movie, Sylvester Stallone never actually unalive somebody before, like you know what I mean. So just music. A lot of youth are singing about crime and violence. They're A student in class.
Well, that's what we want anyway.
They're A student in class and
like
also go to Sunday school. They're the best person in life, but they're creative mentally, so they can sing it, and you can picture it. It's just like captivate a moment, you know. Yes, a lot of things. I've been singing about riches before. I've been singing about Benz and house and cars and all these things. While taking bus, while taking public transportation, while paying rent. You know what I mean? I'm singing about these things that I don't have. You know, but I speak it into being.
So, yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. People probably said, well, you spoke it into existence. You manifest all these things in your life because, you thought positively and you aimed high. And so,
there was a time when before me become an established artist, right? Me I sing, so me have 100 girls. Me only have one girlfriend. Yo, me a gallus. Yo, me the biggest gallus. Me have 100 girls. Come on. One girlfriend, man.
I feel like them kind of songs could start friction in the home, though. Because then, you coming from an artistic place and you saying all kinds of things. Now the person is looking at you like, oh, so really? So when is this? And when, you take the music so personal sometimes that, oh, you're a gallus. Imagine you fighting over the imaginary women in this song.
Like people say, yo, that love song, you must be in love. I said, no, not necessarily. I just studied, and we have you know, drawing inspiration from the universe, the creator. So a lot of spiritual things that's come to me. I'm just seeing it. That's why I connect to the soul life.
And I see you use the word perceive a lot. You got a song on here called Perception. So I feel like that's probably something that you, of course, you could talk of different people's perspectives, and
A lot of people live in true perception.
yes,
There's a lot of females out there just in a relationship and in being abused. But just perception of losing what the abuse attached to. Losing the home, the temporary using of the car, luxury cars, all of these things. But the person who them align themselves is very toxic and very controlling and very, they're a broken individual. So once you're not aligned with their stupidity, they abuse you. But they don't, but the females them don't want them friend. Always want to say, oh, I'm living a better life than their peers, their girl peers, so they stay in that life. But the only person who's losing is you. So if it's just for perception, don't do it.
you hear that?
If there's no value behind it.
Coming from a man, letting the women know if there's no value behind, lose it.
Yeah, man, if it's only for perception.
I-OCTANE speaks to the women.
I just use it's a perfect example. Say only for perception, like some youth out here where I want you to buy, you would rather buy a train before you buy a house. I'd rather buy a car before you buy a house. Because of perception.
But you know what? I think in that case, depending on what it is he's doing, you might have to fake it to make it a little bit because
and
the perception is necessary for the audience.
When I'm talking about cars, I'm not talking about I'm not talking about a car that moves from point A to point B.
Luxury.
Which is still, I'm talking about a luxury vehicle also moving from point A to point B, but cannot because you're gonna ruin the mileage because you don't want to do that. I'm talking about people living the ghetto, living the garrison. And the first pay by a Benz put beside the zinc fence. No.
So the priority is not in
Not in line. Not synchronized. How can I buy a Benz for 30 million and still paying rent? And that's the liability. It's not working for me.
Right. And like we said, everything depreciates as soon as you get it. Next thing you know, bam, the car's not even worth what it was. Yeah.
And the only thing is because perception, because I want to drive the Benz because you're not driving in it. And when me drive up now, I'm supposed to be the man. Everybody's supposed to looking at me because I am coming out of a Benz. But that's a weak individual because the Benz becomes the soundtrack of their existence. People don't like it, they like the Benz.
So basically you have to have it within yourself. Coming your whatever it is, if you are that man or you are that girl, it has to be whether you have the Benz, whether you have the accessories. Yes.
You have a time you have a whole heap of chain and ring and bag of something and ray. You have a time you wear them for months for years. You know? I wear them. It's not my identity. It's not, it don't define me.
Right. Because regardless of what, you're still who you are.
Still who am I? You know?
Okay, well, I learned. I know everybody else learned, right? And we're going to keep them learning. So everybody, what we need them to do, we need you to go to iTunes. And
if you have an iPhone.
Yes.
If you have an iPhone, right? And you subscribe to Apple Music, then go in Apple Music and add I-OCTANE Get REAL to your playlist. Then if you have Spotify, you can do the same thing, add it to your playlist. If you have Tidal, add it to your playlist. You have Audio Mac, add it to your playlist. Or if you want to support the artist direct now, you have to go to iTunes Store. So if you have an iPhone, you go in your App Store and type iTunes Store. And when that icon come up, press it. You go into the iTunes store, you type in I-OCTANE God and I, you see it come up. You can buy this album for $9.99. Prayer you buy it, and that's your copy for life.
Yes, make sure you purchase the album. And guess what? When you purchase the album, you could change your phone 50 million times. Every time you upgrade that phone, that album is there.
Yeah. If you don't pay for these streaming sites, you don't have access to it.
This album is something that if you're going through something, you put it on and it's gonna speak to you. I feel as though like it's something that's gonna move people. I feel like you're probably gonna get people coming to you saying, this song, I felt it to my core, this made me cry, this made me feel it, because no lie, it's like I mean, you can listen to it every day, but it's definitely a Sunday, put it on, right? This is mandatory. This is what we need to feel in our veins, and then it's still the words that you can relate to, the things that you would probably say on your everyday, the slangs that you hear all the time, you know.
Because a lot of people out there want to come back to them true self, but afraid to. Because who they are currently is by trauma where they end up being that person. So a lot of people have been taken for granted, and their defense mechanism is to become that same person that ruined them. But when they recollect, they are ashamed of what they're becoming, but they don't brave enough to return back to their natural form. So when they hear songs like this now, it's like, oh, I need a message like this to motivate, to come back to my true self. Because you was always this nice person, giving person, love everybody. And then you meet some people who just horrible to you. Take all abuse you, you know, set you up, try to hurt you, you know. And then you say, no, I'm afraid of people. And then you start to use the same method that they're using to survive. And when you check it out, you start to become them too, because you have to fight, you have to do the same thing to survive, fighting people, setting up people to survive. Then you start to say, oh, I'm ashamed of what I've become.
Right.
But these songs are a reminder of, yo,
it's definitely
there's other source where you can you can find yourself.
There was a line in there, I don't even remember which song I was listening to, but I know it was saying something. It's not that I hate humans, it's that I'm loving me more. I'm loving myself more. So I'm going to do what's necessary for me, because, you know, this world.
I say, I know you hate me, hate you, I know you hate me, hate people, we just love me more and more.
Yes.
More and more.
Yes.
Everything ever sees and just around it for sure, I'm sure. Sure. When people come in your life, instead of one go, let them go. Cause more time will your love turn out to be the biggest fall.
Facts.
You understand? So when people come and say they want to go, let them go. Don't care how hard it is. You know what I mean? Don't care what that is, let them go. Because if somebody a fight for leave your environment,
how much do you love yourself that you want to hold on to something that don't want to be around you?
Don't want to be around.
So yes, the whole thing was just message after message, and then we connect here, and it's just message after message. I feel so.
This is how my interviews go. All of my interviews, them right? Because people only know the persona, which is I-OCTANE. They make all type of, you know, perspective of it or opinion. But whenever you get to, you know, talk to me in person, this is how I've never done an interview. I always have a conversation. You know?
Okay. Yes.
I'm not a person that you can interview.
Right. I see what you're saying. Like you rather have.
I'm not an interview person, because once a conversation starts, it always derail into having a conversation. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And I feel like it's best that way.
Yeah, because my journey and my identity and who am I is not just a yes or no answer.
Right. It's not even the first straight answer that you think it's going to be either.
No.
You definitely have to meditate on it ponder a while.
A simple yes can define it,
Yes.
and a simple no cannot define it. I'm more in depth. You have to elaborate it. When you say yes, you have to elaborate it.
Okay. Listen, I can't be giving y'all too much of his jewels. You understand? But he dropped all the gems on the album. So we're gonna listen to the album and let the people know what. I mean, he's an established artist, so duh. But y'all know where to find him. But we still gonna tell you anyway.
And TikTok, I-OCTANE.atras. And Instagram, real I-OCTANE.
Okay. So you have it there. Don't forget.
You can find me on any digital platform. Subscribe to my YouTube page, I-OCTANE TV.
Okay. And make sure y'all purchase the album. We'd love the plays. Definitely put it in a rotation.
Put it in a rotation.
It's necessary, but purchase is even better. Support the artist. Okay? That's where we at with it. Support the artist.
She's gonna do it now.
I'm gonna be the first person to do it. I'm gonna be the first one.
You gotta do it now.
Definitely. But you know what? Watch me. Let the people see that this is what we're doing.
Let's do it on camera.
Yeah, because we're not just talking over here. We're actually there you go.
No.
This is Apple. I mean iTunes, right? Well, you told me to go to the store.
This is Apple. See
Yeah.
there.
I told you I was already just sitting. See.
Add to your library. Alright, come up to that now. Go to this now. iTunes store.
I think I probably don't be in this one.
Type it in now.
Okay.
I-OCTANE, God and I.
I'll get the whole thing now. Say C O. It's not the whole thing. They doing them one by one. We're having technical difficulties, but I'm leading the way. So when I finish doing this, y'all know what to do next.
Album. See?
Okay, so we went to albums.
Because you have all, which is all songs.
It's gonna show the singles. Okay.
Yeah, so you can purchase the singles, but if you want the
Alright,
full
so double
album,
tap. Bam.
$9.99.
Look at us.
Then you will do that now. That is your part.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna do this part
You
because.
do the screenshot part that you do it. That's it.
One
purchase that. Poof.
Oh man. All right. See, here we go. Yes.
Purchase, yes.
Okay. So follow suit. Oh, look at my little. You see what it say there?
Purchase.
Okay then.
It's beautiful. Ain't ugly no more.
Okay. All right. Well,
And
you
look.
gotta.
See? Somebody just said it a while ago.
Oh, they sent you the
That
screenshot.
was. It's still in top 10.
Oh yes,
Number 9.
amongst the hip hop. Listen.
So you buy that now.
Contribute
to it still being in the top 10.
Definitely. So we gotta keep supporting everybody else. Follow suit, and it was a pleasure having you. Cause
Thank you very much.
I
would sit here and talk with you the whole entire time.
and I would appreciate it. I
Yes,
love it, but
yes.
I don't want to be
So
the reason.
let's do a second part to this. So continuation.
Look at God.
Yeah. Continuation. Cause we only did 2 songs on the album, right?
We only played.
Yeah.
two
So we
songs.
need to do like we have 13 more 13 more songs. To do.
Okay, so we gotta come back.
Yeah. So
we're gonna
when
listen to God and I on the King and I.
yes.
And yes, it's gonna be King Chic, I-OCTANE, and we're gonna do a
King
full
Chic,
play of the
I-OCTANE.
album. Yes.
I don't know.
Don't know.
Rap God over there.
Okay, so part 2 to be continued.
I like reasoning with you, so
Aww.
we can continue.
Thank you.